Today we're going to cover how to check your quiz score, see what you got right, see what you got wrong, and also how to do score reports for extra credit in quiz corrections. So the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to go to Moodle. So once we get to Moodle, which currently is myclasses.pccsk12.com, you can find this on the district's homepage. We're going to scroll down and search for our courses. If we want to do civics, we're going to type in civics. If we want to do U.S. history, we're going to type in U.S. history. And once we search, we'll see a number of different options. So for U.S. history, we're going to click on U.S. history belch. For civics, obviously, we would type on civics. And then it's going to ask us for enrollment options. So if we want guest access, we're going to have to type in a password. Now, the passwords are pretty tricky. So if we want U.S. history, the password is simply all lowercase history, or if we want civics, the password is all lowercase civics. Name or password, it should automatically bring us to the website where we can see a number of different things. We've got year-long materials, we've got the polling website, the textbook website, we also have Google Classroom codes, we've got Chromebook help, and then we finally get down to where we really want to be, the Unit Number 1 files. So you can find a folder with thesis outlines, assignments, and activities. If you prefer Google Documents, you can find it there. PowerPoints and notes, if you prefer Google Documents, you can find it there. Quiz scores, schedules, and then if you want to see a video of all our lectures and discussions, you can click on that and it will bring you to a YouTube playlist. Right now we want to look at quiz scores, so we're going to click on the quiz scores folder. And in that folder, you will find a number of different documents. We'll find the quiz itself, so the quiz and the answer key. We'll find the quiz student score reports, which are all of the student answers. We'll find directions for doing quiz corrections, and we'll also find a template in case you want that to do quiz corrections. So the first thing we're going to click on, we're going to look at student score reports. That will bring us to a PDF that looks something like this. So depending on what type of computer you open it on, depends on how you're going to search the file. On many Google Drives, you can search Control F, I think. If you actually have the PDF program on your computer, click on Edit, click on Find, and then it's going to give you a bubble to search. And so what you're going to do with this is search for your student ID number. So if we are this person, we're going to type in 20058. 999, and it's going to search it, it's going to find it, and it's going to bring us to our score. So we'll see what our score is. We can see what we put, what our answers were for each question, and we can kind of go down. Just for checking your score report and seeing how you're going to do, I want you to draw a box around. I want you to print this off. So in order to print it, you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Print, and when you go to print, you want to make sure that you don't click everybody's. You don't want to print 14 pages. Click on the exact page you want to print, and if yours is on page 3, you're just going to click page 3. Once you print it out, what I want you to do is take a highlighter or a magic marker and highlight whatever your answers were, so that I know you checked your answers. You're also going to write your name, date, and hour on the front of the page, and just for turning that in, I will give you 1 point of extra credit for doing what is called the score report. That shows that you looked at your quiz, you looked at what you got right, what you got wrong. Hopefully you learned from your mistakes. The next thing we're going to click on is the score, the quiz answer key itself. So if we click on the quiz answer key, we will see question number 1, what is the major cause of boredom? We'll see the 4 options available, and then the correct answer, which is B, a lack of knowledge. Question number 2, the same thing, and we could go on and on throughout the course of the assessment. So now you can actually compare that to yours and see what did you choose versus what is the right answer. The third thing you will find of interest is directions for quiz corrections and test retakes. We're going to click on that, and it's going to bring up this document, which gives you directions on how to do quiz corrections. If you're going to do quiz corrections, please make sure you read this off and you follow it step by step. We're going to go to PowerPoint and look at the same thing right now, but it will tell you exactly what to do in this document. So the first thing I want you to do is print a copy of your score report, and you need to staple it to your quiz corrections. The second thing I want you to do on a separate sheet of paper or using the template, I want you to write out the entire question. So what was the original question? I want you to write out the correct answer so we know what the correct answer is. I want you to identify the main idea or the concept being covered. And by the way, please number this exactly as it's being numbered right here. So number 1 would be the question, number 2, the answer, number 3, what is the main concept? Now sometimes the main concept is in the answer, sometimes it's the question, but please don't restate the question. Please don't restate the question. Please make sure you find a key word or a key term that is the main idea and list that. Think about like what would the vocabulary word or vocab phrase in the question or answer be. Write that down. Then I want you to pretend like I'm a little kid. I'm 9, 10 years old. I don't know anything about civics. I don't know anything about history. Don't know anything about government. I want you to explain that concept to me in a way that I can understand it. So what you're not going to do is copy word for word a definition from the textbook or the internet or any other source, even a PowerPoint. That doesn't tell me that you understand the concept. What I want you to do is to put it in words that show that you understand and make sure that it's clear. If you actually have a 9 or 10-year-old brother or sister, I'd recommend maybe you have them look this over and see if it makes sense to them. Or maybe even have your parents look it over, see if that makes sense. So you're going to write out an explanation of what it means and label that as number 4. You're going to label as number 5, you're going to give me an example that demonstrates that you understand that concept. Or in some cases, you can't really give an example if it's the name of a person or the name of a place. What I want you to do is tell me a little bit about the historical context or the background of the person, or tell me something about their job and their duties. So you want to tell me a little bit that shows you know a little bit about why that person is significant. For number 6, you're going to explain your example. So if you said Great Britain is an example of a unitary government, explain why Great Britain is an example of a unitary government. And then step number 7, I want you to go through your notes and find the date that we discussed this in class. Now, if you haven't been writing the date on your notes, you probably should start now. It's okay to leave number 7 empty, but I think the important thing from this is to try to determine, are you taking good notes in class? If you're taking good notes in class, almost everything you should be able to find somewhere in your notes. So you're going to do that for one question, then you're going to skip a space, draw a line, skip another space, and then do the next question. And you're going to continue this for every single question that you got wrong. So if we go to the quiz correction template, we can see I've done the same thing. I want you to tell me what quiz it was. So was it quiz number 1? And then incorrect question number. And then you can delete all this. I want you to write the question. So what is the cause of boredom? And then I want you to write the answer. Lack of knowledge. And you get the idea. Identify the main concept, explain the main concept, give an example, explain your example, and then write the date in your notes. And then you'd move on to the next question. I got question number 8 wrong. And same thing, delete the actual directions in the template, type in your question answer, and explain things to me. If you explain things in a way that I can understand them, and if you demonstrate knowledge and mastery of that particular topic or that particular question, I will give you half the points you lost back. So if the question was worth 5 points, you'll get 2.5 points back. What this means is that if you're a bad test taker, you're not good at tests, or you just struggle with tests in general, what this means is you can get half of your credit back. So you could go from a 60%, a D minus, to an 80%, a B minus. So in this class, it's not a matter of are you good or bad at test taking. The only way you get good at test taking is by taking more tests and practicing, and by learning from your mistakes. It's just like a sport. If your slap shot is not very good in hockey, you got to keep practicing over and over and over again until you get good at it. And part of getting good is identifying what you're doing wrong. Maybe looking at a video of your shot and seeing what you didn't do so well and trying to correct that. And so my goal for this class is that you put in the effort and you learn from your mistakes, and hopefully you won't get the question wrong on the test. Quiz corrections are always due the Wednesday after the quiz. So usually we'll do a quiz on a Friday. That gives you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to do the quiz corrections. On Wednesday, we will collect them. So this is how you do score reports for extra credit and quiz corrections. If you've got any questions, feel free to see me in class. Have a wonderful day.